Hi, I'm Tom. Today we'll be taking a look at another one of Printify's print providers, FYBY. In case you haven't seen any of my videos before, basically I placed an order with a print provider for a black and a white Belly Canvas 3001 t-shirt containing my test print design. Once I receive the shirt, I then do a review of the service and print quality. I'll be discussing the processing, shipping and pricing first, so if you want to jump right into the print quality, skip to the time shown on screen now. First, let's talk about the processing and shipping times. I placed my order with FYBY on the 8th of February. The order was then shipped on the 11th of February, so that's 4 days production time, which is not the best, but not the worst either. If fast production times are important to you, maybe look elsewhere. I live in the UK, so my shipping times will always be longer since FYBY are based in the US. However, I was very impressed with the delivery speed. It took just 7 days for my order to reach me. Regarding the packaging, the shirts came in a plastic mailer bag, nothing fancy. However, the shirts were individually packaged into individual plastic bags inside of the main plastic mailer. This does make the packaging feel more premium, however, I just can't help feel like this is a massive waste of plastic. None of the labels or invoices stated Printify or FYBY. Instead, it displayed my company name, as it should do. Moving on to the pricing. At the time of ordering, each shirt cost me $8.62, with UK shipping costing almost $20. However, if I was based in the US, my shipping costs would have been $6.30 for both shirts. Looking at profit, if I was to sell a shirt for $25 to a US customer and use FYBY as the print provider, you would be looking at around $11 profit, not taking into account any taxes or marketplace fees. Moving on to the print quality, I'll go ahead and start with the white shirt, but spoiler warning, this isn't going to be a positive review. Looking at the white shirt, this has printed overall pretty good. All the different variations of white, shadows and finer details have printed well. However, on detailed inspection, I can see a big line down the print. At first, I thought this was just a crease. However, it seems to be part of the print. It looks as though they are printed on top of the crease. This definitely would be noticeable by a customer, but I am sure Printify would provide a replacement for this issue. Moving on to the dark print. Again, this is printed overall pretty good, although it does look a little flat and desaturated. If we take a look at the statue, it sort of blends in with the background, where in reality the statue should stand out as in the original photo. If it wasn't for the line down the white photo, I would have been mostly happy with how these two photos printed. Looking now generally at the colours, everything looks good. I wouldn't say it's super vibrant, but it's vibrant enough. However, the prints on the white shirts have a tendency to fade a little after the first wash. We'll see at the end of this video if this is the case or not. One thing I did notice on closer inspection is that the yellow colour has a slight green tone to it, which shouldn't be there. I don't know if this would affect anything though, since the yellow does still come across as yellow, looking at it from a short distance away. Looking at the different shades of white now, these seem to have printed pretty accurately. No complaints here. Now taking a look at the alignment icons, everything looks sharp except when you get down to the finest lines. At the thinnest line, the print has lost its black colour and look a little blurry. On detailed inspection, I can see that the icons do suffer from colour bleed. This is the first time I've seen this on a direct-to-garment print, so that's interesting. Nothing else on the print suffers from this, just these icons. All the text is printed good and is readable, even right down to the smallest font size. I will add though, that at the smallest font size, the text has lost a bit of its colour. Moving on to the balloon photo, this has actually printed pretty good. I can't see any issues with this. The colours all look good, even the yellow balloons have printed yellow. I wish the rest of the shirt was printed this good. Now let's take a look at how the black shirt has printed. So I'm trying to keep this fair and I don't want to be overly negative or critical, but unfortunately, I have to say that this is the worst print I've seen so far. Firstly, let's look at the white photo. This is just awful. It's extremely patchy, even from far away. It just looks awful, and I'm honestly not sure how this left their facility. They must deem this as an acceptable print. To actually package this up and send it out, if I received this as a customer, I would be extremely disappointed and would be asking for a refund or a replacement. Even looking at my logo, the print is very poor. The black shirt is just showing through too much. Now this is where things get very odd. Taking a look at the black print, this has printed extremely well. I would even go as far as saying this is one of the best, if not the best version of this I've received from any provider at Printify so far. The statue is very detailed and just pops off the shirt. All the colours in the background are printed well, even some of the really faint stars are printed too. It's not completely perfect though. If you look at the highlights, this does look patchy unfortunately. I think I do understand why this looks so good, especially when the rest of the design looks rubbish. I think it's to do with how they process the design files. Most of the other print providers I've looked at will print black ink on black fabric. It doesn't show very well, but they do print it. Here, it appears that they've just completely got rid of any part of the design that is black. None of the blacks are printed. While this does work extremely well for this photo, I'd be worried that it could end up producing some weird results for other photos or designs. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of the design, starting with the alignment icons. If we look past the patchiness for a second, they have mostly printed okay, except for the thinnest of lines. The thinnest circle has almost disappeared. If we take a look at the text, again, this has printed mostly fine. Everything is readable, even down to the smallest font size, although here it may take a little squinting. Interestingly, the icons here don't suffer from the colour bleed like they do on the white shirt. Lastly, let's take a look at the bloom photo. Again, this is patchy but not as bad as the white photo, which is a positive I suppose. I wouldn't say that this has printed particularly well though. So looking at how the prints look and feel, on the white shirt the print is matte. It's light and feels like it's part of the fabric, but this is pretty normal for direct to garment. Looking at the black shirt, this is again matte, but this time the print has a very rough texture to it. You'd definitely be able to feel the design on your chest if you were wearing it. This is very subjective. Some people don't like heavy designs on their shirts. Okay, so overall, I'm not happy with how these prints have turned out. While the white shirt is okay, there are some clear quality control issues at FYBY. A crease should not have been printed onto the shirt. I can cut them some slack for this, as I can understand it could be easy to miss. However, what I can't cut them slack on is how the black shirt looks. Almost everything on here looks terrible. No customer would accept this. While the dark photo has printed very well, this doesn't save the shirt overall. I just simply can't recommend using FYBY. I certainly won't be, which is a shame because they do offer some Bella Canvas 3001 colours that the other print providers don't. They have an above average processing time, they're slightly more expensive than other better print providers, and they have quite poor quality printing. If you must use them for those exclusive shirt colours, then stick to the lighter colour shirts for best results. Otherwise, and in my opinion, just avoid using them altogether. Adding FYBY to my Printify rankings, they are firmly at the bottom. This does currently make them 4th on my list, but please understand I have only reviewed 4 print providers, which currently means they are the worst. Of course, this is just my opinion. You may have had a very different experience to me. If you have, please let me know in the comments. Out of the providers I have reviewed, I still rank Monster Digital as number 1, closely followed by the Dream Junction at number 2 and Swift POD at number 3. Please let me know which print provider you'd like to see reviewed next. I have now washed both shirts inside out on a 30-degree wash cycle and air dried. The black shirt has come out looking exactly as it went in, which is very good. However, the white shirt has faded slightly. This is only slightly and doesn't have me concerned yet, and this does appear to be normal for direct to garment. Of course, this is only just one wash. I'll continue washing these shirts and they will be included in a wash update video in the future. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. See you in the next video.